Pack your things and get out, Anita. And take that thing in your belly with you.
Please, Tunde, don't do this to me.
Tears ran down Anita's face like a flowing stream. She stared at her husband, Tunde, the man she gave her whole life to. The man who once said he would protect her forever. Now he stood before her like a stranger, cold, heartless, and full of hate. Please, Tunde, don't do this, Anita whispered, holding her 6-month pregnant belly. Where do you want me to go? Tunde turned his face away like he didn't care. I don't care where you go. Sleep in the street if you want. I'm tired of you and your drama. Just like that, he slammed the door and left her outside under the rain. And what happened after that? Nobody expected it. Not even Tunde. The rain poured heavily that night in Soyulia. People ran for cover, but Anita stood under the storm, clutching a black nylon bag filled with her few belongings. Her hair was soaked. Her dress stuck to her body like second skin. And her belly. It kicked gently, like the baby inside knew something bad had happened. How did she get here? Only a few months ago. Tunde was the perfect husband. Handsome, hardworking, and romantic. They met at a church youth program. Everyone called them the church couple. They did everything together. Prayed, worked, loved. When she found out she was pregnant, Tunde jumped and shouted, lifting her in the air. My baby! I'm going to be a father. But that happiness didn't last long. After her 3rd month of pregnancy, things started to change. Tunde stopped coming home early. He stopped eating her food. He started hiding his phone and making secret calls. And when Anita tried to ask what was going on, he would shout, You like Warala too much. Is it by force to talk to you? Anita thought it was stress. Maybe work. Maybe he was scared of becoming a father. But the truth, it was deeper and more painful than she could ever imagine. That night, under the rain, she walked. She passed houses with warm lights, laughter, and families. But she had no one. Her mother was dead. Her father abandoned them when she was 2. No siblings. Just her and the baby in her womb. Then she remembered someone, Mama Kai, the old woman who used to sell roasted corn near the market. Anita had once helped her after she fainted on the road. Maybe, just maybe, she whispered as she dragged her tired feet towards the old woman's house at the edge of town. Knock, knock. The wooden door opened slowly. Ah, Anita. Mama Kai's voice trembled. Why are you out in the rain like this? You're pregnant, oh. Anita broke down in tears and collapsed on the floor. Anita lay on Mama Kai's thin mattress, her clothes now dry but her heart still heavy. Mama Kai had given her food, warm water to bathe, and even massaged her swollen feet with shea butter. The old woman sat beside her, fanning her slowly with an old woven hand fan. My daughter, I don't know what your husband did, Mama Kai said softly, but no man has the right to throw out a pregnant woman like that. Even animals protect their own. Anita sighed. He used to love me, Mama. Something changed. One day, he just became a stranger. Mama Kai paused. Men don't just change, Anita. Something, or someone, changed him. Anita turned to her side, cradling her belly. I think he's seeing someone else. 3 months ago, Tunde's phone had rung late one night while he was asleep. The screen lit up. Princess Red Heart Hash. Anita's heart dropped. Who was Princess? She clicked it open. The messages stung like acid. I wish your wife would just disappear. When are you coming over again, Daddy? I miss your touch. Have you told her the baby is mine, not hers? Anita gasped. Baby. She had been carrying his child, and he was sleeping with another woman. Worse, Princess was pregnant too. When Anita tried to confront him that morning, he flipped the whole thing on her. You went through my phone. You don't trust me. That's your problem. That's why I can't stay in this house. Back to present day. Anita's mind replayed everything. The betrayal. The lies. The night he slammed the door in her face. Mama Kai touched her arm gently. That child in your womb will bless you, Anita. You'll rise again. Anita closed her eyes as the baby kicked. It was a soft nudge, but it gave her strength. Weeks passed. Tunde now lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Lekki with Princess, the side chick turned live-in girlfriend. She was loud, flashy, and vain. She cared more about wigs and Instagram filters than cooking or cleaning. Tunde sat on the bed one evening, looking at Princess as she did a TikTok dance in her underwear. He frowned. "You haven't cooked all day." She rolled her eyes. "Your hand is not broken." He looked around the untidy room. Clothes everywhere. No peace. No joy. For a second, he remembered Anita. Her laughter. Her calmness. The way she sang while cooking. Her soft touches. Her prayers before bed. Then he shook his head. "No. She's gone. I'm free now." Or so he thought. Anita tied her wrapper tightly around her waist and adjusted her scarf. It was barely 5 a.m., but the street was already alive with faint voices, barking dogs, and the occasional "Oya move Jer" from bus drivers in the distance. She stepped out with a small tray of akara batter and a kettle of oil. Mama Kai had given her a borrowed frying pan, an old stove, and a corner spot beside the roadside gutter. It wasn't much, but it was a beginning. She placed the pan on the fire and poured in the oil. As the heat rose, she scooped the thick brown batter with her hands, letting each ball drop gently into the sizzling oil. The smell of fresh akara filled the air. By 6 a.m., people were already gathering. "Madam, your akara day smell correct oh. Give me 100 Nigerian naira zone with bread abeg." Anita smiled. "God bless you. Come again tomorrow, oh." Every morning, Anita stood by that corner. Rain or shine. With her baby bump in front of her and her dignity in her hands. And slowly, the neighborhood began to know her, not just as a seller, but as a kind and respectful woman. She would sometimes give free akara to beggars. She helped children cross the road. She remembered names, birthdays, and people's favorite bread sizes. One day, a woman named Mrs. Williams, owner of a local school, stopped to buy from her. "You look familiar," Mrs. Williams said, chewing thoughtfully. "Did you attend Fountain of Life Church?" "Yes, Ma. I used to sing in the choir before things changed." Mrs. Williams nodded. "You sing beautifully. Are you still staying around?" Anita nodded. The woman paused. "We need a cleaner at our school. It's not much, but it comes with a small monthly salary and a place to stay." Anita's eyes widened. "A room?" "Yes. One small staff room at the back of the school. But at least you and your baby won't sleep on the floor again." Anita dropped to her knees. "God bless you, Ma. Thank you." Meanwhile, back in Lekki, Princess was not the sweet woman Tunde thought she was. She was demanding, lazy, and cruel. Tunde came back from work one day to meet her shouting on the phone. "Tell your wife not to message me again. I'm not the one that told her to marry a poor man." He entered the room slowly. "Who are you talking to like that?" Princess hissed. "Your ex Anita. She texted me saying I ruined her marriage. As if I forced you to cheat." Tunde blinked. "You spoke to her?" "Yes. She should get over it. You're mine now. Let her stay poor and pitiful with that baby of hers." The baby. Tunde swallowed. He hadn't asked about his child once. Suddenly, guilt pinched his heart. But pride didn't let him speak. The small schoolroom was dusty, but it had a roof, a mat, and privacy. Anita laid her wrapper on the floor and stood back, smiling. "Baby," she said to her belly, "this is our new home. Small today, big tomorrow." She worked as a cleaner by day, a akara seller by dawn, and prayed by night. The school children adored her. Teachers greeted her with respect. And in her heart, she felt something she hadn't felt in months. Peace. The thunder roared like an angry lion. Lightning tore through the sky, followed by heavy rain pounding on the zinc roof like drumbeats. Inside the small staff room, Anita sat on the floor, gripping her waist. "Aya!" she screamed, sweat pouring down her face. "God, please help me, not now, not here." The pain started earlier that evening, just a dull ache. but it had grown stronger, sharper, and unbearable by the minute. Her water had broken. Her wrapper was soaked. She was alone. Mrs. Williams had travelled. Mama Kai had gone to the village for her brother's burial. There was no one. She crawled to the door, banging on it. "Help! Please! Somebody help me!" But the rain was too loud. The street too empty. As she lay there, thinking she might die with her baby inside her, she heard footsteps, slow, careful ones, approaching her room. Knock. Knock. Anita. She looked up weakly. It was Ngozi, one of the teachers from the school. A young corper who barely spoke more than a greeting every day. "I saw your light on from my own window and heard shouting," Ngozi said, stepping in. "Oh my God. You're in labor." "Yes," Anita cried. "Please, help me." Ngozi didn't waste time. She removed her jacket, boiled water, laid out wrappers on the floor, and began to assist. It was messy, painful, loud. But after nearly 2 hours, a cry pierced the room. A healthy baby boy, dark and beautiful, raised his tiny fist as if declaring war on the world. Anita collapsed back and began to weep. "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you." Ngozi cleaned the baby, wrapped him in a towel, and handed him to her. "What will you name him?" Anita kissed his forehead. Erioluwa. It means testimony of God's grace. Back in Lekki, Tunde sat at his dining table, tapping his phone. His bank account was low. Work was slow. And Princess was seated opposite him, face hard, lips set in a tight line. "I need to tell you something," she said. Tunde raised his head. "What?" She pushed the child's birth certificate across the table. Tunde picked it up and froze. Father's name, unknown. He blinked. "Princess, what is this?" She shrugged. "That child is not yours." Silence. Thunder rolled in the distance. "You said you were 2 months gone before we started living together." "I lied." Tunde stood up, his legs shaking. "You used me." She snorted. "And you used me too. So, we're even." That night, Tunde packed his bag and left. But not before Princess shouted after him. "Now go and look for your precious Anita, if she'll even take you back." The next morning, despite the pain in her body, Anita held her son close and sang softly, "You turned my mourning into dancing again. You lifted my sorrow." Ngozi came in with breakfast. "You're strong, Anita." Anita smiled. "I wasn't strong. God was." 3 months after baby Erioluwa's birth, Anita sat on the school bench during her short break. She wore a faded yellow gown and her sandals had started to peel, but her eyes glowed with peace. Her baby slept peacefully in a small cradle beside her. Just as she sipped her pap, a small girl ran into the staff compound with an envelope in her hand. "Auntie Anita, somebody said make I give you this letter." Anita frowned. "Who gave you?" "I no. He just say give to the Akara woman for school." The girl ran off. Anita opened the envelope with shaky hands. Inside was a plain piece of paper. "Dear Anita, I know I don't deserve your attention, but I need to talk to you. I've made mistakes that haunt me every day. If you're willing, please meet me at Mount View Park on Sunday by 4 p.m. I just want a chance to say the things I should have said a long time ago." Tunde. Her hands trembled. Her chest tightened. "Tunde. After everything." Anita tossed and turned that night. Ngozi noticed. "You're not sleeping." Anita sighed. Tunde sent a letter. "He wants to talk." "Are you going to go?" Anita didn't answer immediately. "I want to hear what he has to say. Not for him. For me. For closure." Ngozi nodded. "Just promise me one thing." "What?" "Don't cry. Let him see what he lost." Tunde sat alone in a small rented room. The Lekki life was over. His landlord had kicked him out after unpaid rent. Princess had vanished with her child, and his money. His friends stopped picking his calls. Even his office had let him go after budget cuts. Now he stared at his hands and remembered the warm meals Anita used to serve. Her calm voice. Her soft touch after a hard day. Her unwavering prayers. He looked around the empty room. I threw her out for this. Anita wore a simple white blouse and a long skirt. Her natural hair was packed into a bun. Erioluwa was tied to her back, sleeping peacefully. Tunde was already at the park, dressed in faded jeans and slippers. He looked older, tired, broken. When he saw Anita, he stood quickly. Anita. She looked at him, calm but unreadable. You said you wanted to talk, she said quietly. He rubbed his neck nervously. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. She remained silent. I made the worst mistake of my life. I left the only woman who ever truly loved me. For what? For lies. For temporary beauty. I was blind. Anita looked into his eyes. You were not blind, Tunde. You were selfish. He swallowed hard. You threw me out. I was pregnant. I begged you. You shut the door. Tunde's eyes welled with tears. I don't want anything from you, Anita said softly. I've forgiven you. But I can never forget. She untied the cloth on her back, brought Erioluwa forward, and placed him gently on her lap. This is your son. Tunde gasped. His beautiful. Anita stood up. Yes. And his mine. She walked away slowly, leaving Tunde frozen on the bench, tears running down his face. The Monday morning sun filtered gently through the school windows. Anita wiped down the corridor tiles with her usual grace when Mrs. Williams walked in, heels clicking, eyes shining with purpose. Anita, please come to my office, she said warmly. Anita stood up, surprised. Yes, Ma. She walked in slowly, hands clasped in front of her. Mrs. Williams didn't waste time. You've been with us for almost a year now. Your hard work, honesty, and attitude haven't gone unnoticed. Anita blinked, unsure of where the conversation was heading. Mrs. Williams smiled. We are starting a mother and child care extension in our school, and we want you to manage it. Anita gasped. Emmy, I didn't go to university. That doesn't matter, Mrs. Williams said. You're a living example of resilience and care. We'll send you for short training, and you'll earn a salary higher than before. Tears welled up in Anita's eyes. God bless you, Ma. Oh, and one more thing, Erioluwa has a full scholarship until primary 6. He'll start creche next term. Anita dropped to her knees. Thank you, Jesus. Tunde was squatting with a friend in a one-room apartment in age. No light, no running water. He worked as a bus conductor now, barely earning enough to eat. Each time he saw a young mother with her child by the roadside, guilt stabbed him like a knife. He remembered Anita's eyes that day at the park, strong, calm, final. One night, as he lay on the threadbare mat, he whispered aloud, God, give me one more chance to do something right, even if I don't deserve it. Anita walked Erioluwa to school in the mornings, now wearing a clean uniform with a staff badge. Teachers greeted her with admiration. Parents respected her. Her Akara stand, now run by 2 local girls she trained, who called her Madam A. Ngozi, her once quiet helper, had become like a younger sister. Together, they dreamed big, prayed daily, and started an evening Bible class for nearby children. One evening, Ngozi grinned and whispered, You know you're a community star now, right? Anita laughed. Me? Star? I just try survive Ngozi nodded. Yes, but you're shining while surviving. Tunde heard from an old church friend that Anita had turned her life around. He wanted to visit. Not to ask for anything. Just to say thank you, for raising his son so well, for surviving what he caused, for rising above pain. He showed up at the school gate in old trousers and slippers. One of the guards stopped him. Who you find? I'm looking for Anita. The guard frowned. You mean Madam A? Wetting be your name? Tunde. The guard's eyes narrowed. Wait here. Moments later, Anita stepped out with a file in one hand and Erioluwa in the other. She saw him. The father of her child. The man who once discarded her like trash. But today, she stood taller, cleaner, stronger, glowing with the kind of beauty no makeup could fake. He took off his cap. I didn't come to disturb you. I just wanted to say, thank you. For what? She asked gently. For doing what I was too weak to do. For raising our son. For surviving me. Anita nodded. You're forgiven. But my son, you'll have to earn his place in his life. I will, Tunde said quietly, even if it takes years. She looked down at Erioluwa, now 3 years old and full of light. He held her hand tightly. Mummy, who is that man? Anita smiled. Someone who is learning to be better. Rain tapped gently on the zinc roof of Anita's small home as she stirred a pot of ogbono soup. Erioluwa, now 6, sat at the table doing his homework, humming a song from school. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3, 6, he chanted. Anita smiled to herself. Smart boy. Just like his papa, before everything fell apart. She had moved into a modest 2-room apartment behind the school, one paid for through savings and support from her boss, Mrs. Williams. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. Peaceful, safe. Outside, children called her Mummy Airy. Parents came to her for advice. She sold small chops on weekends and gave away free akara to hungry children. She didn't have much, but she had peace, joy, dignity. Tunde sat on the edge of a mechanic workshop in dirty overalls, watching school children walk past with backpacks. Their laughter echoed in his chest. He no longer asked God to give him a better life. He asked for strength to survive this one. That day, one of his co-workers dropped a newspaper beside him. Tunde glanced at the page and froze. There was a tiny column showing top-performing pupils in local schools. Erioluwa's name was there, top 3 in maths and reading. Tunde folded the paper and held it against his chest. My son. But he didn't go to the school. Not that day. Not the next. Why? Because he knew. He had no right to step back into a life he walked away from. One Saturday afternoon, while Anita was peeling yams outside her door, a soft knock came. She opened it, surprised to see a young woman, no older than 20, with a baby strapped to her back. Auntie, I beg. Dem say you dey help women like me. I no get where to go. Anita looked at her, tired eyes, cracked lips, swollen feet. She didn't ask many questions. Come in, she said gently. You go bath first. Then you go eat. Over time, Anita began taking in just 1 or 2 women who had been abandoned like her. Not for money. Not for fame. Just because she understood. She taught them how to fry akara. Sew simple clothes. Read and write. How to live again. She wasn't a celebrity. She didn't go viral. She was just Mama Airy, a woman who lost everything, and still chose to become a safe place. Years later, Tunde came one last time. He stood at a distance, watching Erioluwa, now about 11, walking home from school with his books. The boy was tall, confident, and smiling. Anita walked beside him, holding his hand. Tunde didn't approach. He simply watched from the corner, whispered, "Thank you," and turned away. He had finally understood. Sometimes, the consequences of your actions are not loud punishments. Sometimes, they're quiet regrets you carry for life. One evening, Erioluwa brought his exercise book to Anita. "Mummy, teacher say make we write about our hero." She smiled. "And who will you write about?" He grinned, wrapping his arms around her waist. "You." Anita kissed his head. She didn't need applause. Or attention. Just this moment. Just this life. Just love. But this was only just the beginning. The fan hummed softly in the small room as Erioluwa, now 17, buttoned his shirt. He stood tall, broad shoulders, clear eyes, calm voice. Anita looked at him and smiled. "You look like someone I used to know," she teased. "Mummy, not that man again," Erioluwa said, laughing softly. "Which man?" she asked, feigning innocence. "My father," he said. Anita paused. Do you want to know him? She asked gently. Erioluwa sighed. Not because I miss him, but because I need to see what not to become. Anita nodded slowly. Then maybe, it's time. With Anita's help, he tracked down a mechanic shop in age. The man they asked for was there, graying, bent, and thinner than the memory Anita carried. Are you Tunde? He looked up. Yes. I'm Erioluwa, the boy said. Your son. Tunde froze. For the first time in years, he saw the result of the woman he threw away. A fine young man. Strong. Polite. Everything he should have helped raise. I'm not here to fight, Erioluwa said. I just wanted you to know, my mother raised me without a single day of bitterness. Tunde's hands trembled. I don't deserve forgiveness. You don't, Erioluwa said calmly, but she gave it anyway. Tunde walked home that night in silence. There was no storm, no noise, just a quiet truth. He had missed everything. The first step, the first tooth, the first word, the scraped knee, the birthday cake, the tears, the hugs, all of it, gone. He pulled out a photo he had kept in his wallet. Anita, pregnant, smiling at the camera. He whispered into the darkness. You were right. I was wrong. His health began to fail not long after. A slow illness. No support system. Just the haunting echo of his past. He tried writing a letter, but the words choked him. What do you write? To the woman who suffered for your sins and came out shining. Anita stood by the school gate, holding an envelope. A teacher came running. Anita, you must open it. Inside was a letter from a scholarship board. Erioluwa Paul, full scholarship for university study, computer engineering, top 5 in state results. Anita dropped to her knees. She had sold a Kara, washed school toilets, raised him alone. And now, her son was about to become the first university graduate in her family line. Erioluwa hugged her tight. You made me, Mummy. No, she whispered. God made you. I just watered the seed. In a quiet hospital bed, Tunde asked for a phone. He left a voicemail for Anita. Thank you for not letting the pain turn you into something bitter. Thank you for raising the kind of son I could never become. I may never earn his love, but I pray he'll remember that I at least tried to regret. He died the next week, not with peace, but with understanding. He threw her out when she was pregnant, but life picked her up, and she raised a king, while he watched from afar. Let this be a reminder. What you throw away today might shine brighter than anything you'll ever become. Please share, comment, and subscribe to Tales by Amah for more. Bye for now.